Hey, good morning, and welcome to one of my moss removal jobs here in Basingstoke down in Hampshire. So I just wanted to show you how I'm getting the moss off the roof. I've been doing this for on and off since the late 1990s, doing moss removals. So I've always used the same sort of methods. I'll just go through it all and show you the results and the before and after, and see what you think of it. Right, so that standard ridge ladder on there. What I like to do is I like to put pads on it, because these are clay tiles on this roof, so I don't really want to put these bearer bars down here directly onto the tiles. So we put a pad on there. Also, the bearer bars on there have got their own pads on there, as you can see, just to protect the tiles. And up the top there's also a pad on the other side of the hook on the ridge ladder, again just to protect the tiles on there. And all I do is go along on the roof with a wire brush on the end of a pole and just literally scrape it all off, starting at the top, making my way down. And you can see the difference on there between the left and the right hand side of the screen. Pretty incredible on there. So that's what the roof looked like originally, and this is what it looks like now. So what a difference. Yeah, I'm making progress, working left to right. Have a look at all this moss I've pulled off. That's only part of it. Literally, look at it. So yeah, look, I've heard some people say that you should leave the moss on the roof because it acts as like a natural insulator. Normally people that come out with nonsense like that don't know anything about roofs or buildings or anything. So this roof, like most roofs in the UK, is ventilated, so the loft space has an airflow going through it. There's vents at the eaves. You've got a nice airflow going through the loft, pulling out any condensation. So having moss, I don't know where you can see that, like this, on the outside of the roof is going to do absolutely nothing. You know, you're trying to insulate a ventilated loft space, which doesn't make any sense at all. So no, while moss itself does have insulating properties, it's not going to do anything at all if it's on a roof that is ventilated. So yeah, that's another little myth that's been busted on there. That's absolute nonsense. Also, in the winter when you need that insulation, it's going to be cold anyway because it's soaking wet. So no, that doesn't do anything at all. You're best off getting it off. Also, does the moss damage the roof tiles? Well, these are clay tiles, so what will happen in the winter is if the roof can't drain off, if the water can't drain off the roof because of all the moss on there, you know, the moss holds 50 times its weight in water. So if it's soaking wet on the roof and it can't dry out, the sun can't get on the roof because of all the moss on there, what happens is when the roof freezes, because it's retaining moisture, it'll cause the clay tiles to start flaking or shaling. And that will happen for all clay tiles, but it's just accelerating the process if the roof can't dry out. So if you have a look over my shoulder, see all the moss over there? That part of the roof, it would not dry out, sometimes for days, maybe weeks in the winter. So when it freezes, all the tiles start flaking and little bits start sort of coming off of them. Imagine the moisture getting into the tile and then expanding as it freezes. Well, this side of the roof, which I've just demossed, you imagine that water's just going to run off that roof and it'll dry out much quicker. So it's less likely to have the damage caused by the moisture in the tiles expanding when it freezes, because it dries out much quicker. That side, it's going to take forever to dry out. Having excessive amount of moss on the roof just accelerates that process because it stops the roof from drying out. Obviously, everything I've just said only applies to clay tiles. Concrete tiles are completely different. But yeah, that's just one of the issues that can be caused by excessive amounts of moss, and I would say that's excessive. So yeah, it's going to be about 5 days for me on my own on this house. This would normally be a 4-day job on my own. But the customer wants all the exterior, the gutters and his fascias clean all around the house, and they're absolutely filthy from all the algae and the moss and the green mold and everything. So I'm probably going to spend about a day just trying to get the stains out of the guttering on there. So it's coming up really nice anyway. So once all of that moss is taken off, I'll check over the roof for any broken tiles, fish them out, put new ones in, and then just spray this whole roof with a fungicide, and that'll stop the moss from growing back. The customers had some trees cut down that were overhanging the house. I'd imagine the moss shouldn't come back in a hurry now because it's got a bit more daylight coming onto the roof. So that is what I've been up against today. Have a look at that. Now, if you have a look over to the left, oh, that is the garage. I've done that yesterday. We just go up this ladder. Oh, that's the little pad that I told you about. Oh, just a bit of protection for the roof. That's the extension. I've done that on the first day that I was here. It's quite a big house, this one. And then I've done that yesterday on the back of the house. I'm doing this one today. And then I'm doing the far side on the final day. So for me, on this roof, it's going to be 5 days on my own. Yeah, if you have a look here, you can just see me just scraping or brushing that moss off. It's coming off quite nicely. It's literally rolling off like a carpet. And then all I do is give the roof a brush down. As I say, replace the broken tiles on there. I think there were 2 on the back of the house, 2 on the garage. I haven't seen any on the front here yet. I'll give the gutters a good clear out. And then get spraying with the fungicide on the roof. And yeah, and then that's it. So what a difference on this roof. I mean, have a look at this one here. You can really see the difference. Before it was just a bright green roof with all that organic matter on there. You've got moss, lichens, algae, and now there's even a few mushrooms I've seen growing up here as well. And now you can see the original colour of the tiles is coming through. So these are actually clay tiles, so they hold their colour. All you need to do is just get the moss off and the original colour will shine through. So yeah, a fairly big job for one person to do, hence why it's taking so long. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The customer's really pleased with it as well. He's put his drone up and taken a few pictures because he's so impressed with how it's looking. So yeah, that's it. Look, I'll leave you with a few photographs of the job. And that's it. So look, my name's Daniel. I'm also known as Mr. Moss. And hopefully I will see you on another video.